Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's Chill Pill. Good to be with you.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, we had a great time, didn't we?
Yes, we just got back.
Ohio has some amazing spots.
Hocking Hills.
Yeah.
That's where we were. And thank you to the
Fantastic.
district
Yeah, thank you.
for the lovely gift for the pastors. And so we went for 2 nights to a lovely cabin and walked, 3 different hikes.
Had 3 different
We
hikes.
went to Old Man's Cave.
Yes.
And where else did we go? Cedar Falls.
Cedar Falls.
We did wee hikes around there.
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Can't remember the last
There's
one.
about 5 different spots, but we got to see 3 of them
Right,
walking
it was
anyway.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, oh gosh, it's just, they've got some even longer walks.
Now, it wasn't great weather, I have
No,
to
it
say.
wasn't. We would have gone on a longer walk had it not been so cold.
But it was
icy.
beautiful. And the ancient stone.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You just sense the history of everybody who's lived before you.
they're a little spooky, you know, the Hocking Hills.
Especially the old man's cave. I didn't want to go right down into that cave, to tell you the truth.
We had to back up because Ruth didn't want to
I'm
go
not going down a
actually
big-
underneath. It was all pitch black.
But it was a lot of fun. We
I can
enjoyed it.
imagine it's really busy in summer.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean,
I'm sure.
there's a lot of people with young families there.
I
a lot of
know,
young kids.
even for this time of year. So, I mean, it must be packed in the
I
good
bet.
weather.
I bet. So I'm glad we went actually in winter because it was you had relatively quiet
Yeah,
there.
quiet this time of year, but it was lovely.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
So today, what we want to do is continue talking about marriage.
Oh, right.
And guess what? We have a famous preacher this weekend at
Oh,
church.
dear, please.
Ruth
It's not
Reynard's
a preacher.
preaching.
I'm just sharing a wee bit.
Oh, you be careful what you say too on Sunday.
Why? Oh, I see.
So
I
anyway,
see.
come and show up. You know, hey, it's good that I'm hearing a lot of people in our church getting the vaccine, so I'm happy about that. I think it's a good choice. And
Well, you've got yours. I
Yeah.
haven't got mine.
yeah, I've got mine just so that it's not that I know anyone. It's just
Well,
working
she
at
chaplaincy work.
working at the hospital. They like you to have it. You know, not everyone's
But
getting
I'm just
it.
a mere mortal, so I don't know when
Some
I'll
people
get mine.
aren't getting it no matter what, but that's everyone's got the right to choose. You know, which choose your poison
Yes.
for it or against it. What are you going to do? So you just have to pray about it really and just decide what's best for you.
But I think it's a good thing to do because,
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you do? It's going to help a little bit. It's not going to stop you from getting it, but it's going to help your body fight it off. So it makes sense.
Well, they're not sure, I guess. They say it's 95%, so yeah, there still is a chance of getting it. But they say if you
Right.
do get it,
Your
It's-
body will be stronger to deal
yeah.
with it. Just makes sense, you know?
but
To me,
again, it's up
anyway.
to you. It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
your own decisions. So anyway, we talked about marriage on Sunday.
You went off there onto the vaccines. We had
Yeah,
started
sorry.
talking about
Yeah,
it
I
and then-
mentioned 3 things on Sunday about marriages, which was kind of a bit of a surprise to people. But I said in marriage, expect to suffer. You know, a lot of people think that a good marriage is the absence of trouble, the absence of disagreement, the absence of not arguing. And it's just not the truth because, you know, you come to intimacy basically through the tunnel of conflict, and we've proven that. And we found that in a lot of marriages that are really solid. They've gone through tough times.
Well, and a lot has to do with how you're raised, even
Yeah.
before you marry anybody. It's like how your family was and how they operated. And some people encourage their children to, you know, talk about things and to tell them how they're doing and, you know, have you had any problems? And they want to talk them out. And then other people, they just want quietness. It's like, no, you're all right. Be calm. You're fine.
Yeah.
So it depends, like if you've learned in your life how to share and how to
Yeah.
talk things through, and or if you've been taught to just, you know, deal with it yourself, go away.
But
And,
I think what happens with a lot of people, especially with people being older when they're married, they're already
there
set
you
in their
go.
ways. I know we were young, but a lot of people we found through counselling they get very set in their ways, and so they come into a relationship and act the same way that they do when they're single, but they don't realize this is a whole different thing. It's no longer I but we, or my but our together.
Do you know the
That whole
point I
different-
really liked that you talked about?
You like my
was-
sermon?
I did. I liked the bit about autopilot.
Oh yeah, autopilot.
That's
Oh
an
gosh.
important point because you can get so used to something, like you said on Sunday,
Yeah.
it becomes like a pair of old boots or something like that.
Well,
And we can't get like that with our
yeah.
marriages.
You see, and guys especially, what happens? You're, like I said, you're going after your prey.
Stop. Don't use that word in that context. That's
It's
gross.
a Freudian slip. You're
Oh,
you're going
please.
after the person that you want to be with, and then the woman's kind of totally stunned afterwards. What happened to all that attention? What happened to all that looking into my eyes and
He's gone
you
cold.
couldn't get enough of me, and now you've got me, and now where's all the romance gone? Where's all the chasing gone? But it's like I said on Sunday, one of the things we've got going against us in marriage is you can easily go into autopilot. It's like anything else that we do in life. It's surgeries or plumbing. You just know what to do. So you just kind of just do it, and then you just get so comfortable you don't think you have to think about it. But marriage is never like that. You also have to be attentive. You also have to be thinking about it, the other person.
Because the thing is, in marriage, the two people are actually people, and life's happening to each of them. And so we constantly change as people. We
Yeah.
don't actually stay the same. And I mean, I know we're the same person, but like when I think of myself when I was young, I'm so different now because I've lived all these years and I've seen things and I see things differently now and I've experienced things. And that's what you need to understand and support in a marriage, that you're two individuals, you're going through life, and it changes you, and you've got to keep changing together and keep working on it.
There is one thing that the other point that I mentioned was, don't think that you're better than you are, something like that. What was it now? You're not as good as you think you are.
Don't get carried away with yourself, as the Irish would say.
But one other thing that maybe we should bring up in this series, maybe on Sunday. If you get a
He's
chance.
trying to tell me what to say on
Is
Sunday. What do you hear?
Talking
He's
about
gonna-
handling the larger family. We've met a lot of people over the years who, the wife in particular, doesn't like his family.
Or the husband doesn't like the
doesn't
wife's
like her.
family.
Yeah, or a lot of times there's interference from families, and that causes a lot of trouble. In-law issues. Obviously not everyone has them, but it's common
Can
enough.
cause-
It's
it
common
can cause
enough
problems.
that, and a lot of times guys don't want to leave their mummies.
Oh,
You know how the
geez.
scripture says a man should leave his father and mother. It doesn't mean to say you literally ignore them. It just means that your loyalties should now be with your spouse. Not that you're disloyal to your family, but your priorities, and yet some people can't leave their mothers. Some men just adore their moms to the exclusion of the wife. What mom thinks is more important, and so on and so forth. So that's hard, and that's hard to break for some people.
Or women can feel the tug too, and it's a grow up thing. It's like, no, I've made this decision now to marry this person. It's a grow up time, and it can be scary. If you're young and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to be with this person for the rest of my life. It can get scary. It can get like weird at times. You're like, what do I do? But it's just, it takes the commitment. That's the commitment part of it, to think those things through and to realize, you know what? This is the decision I've made before God, and I have to work on it with my husband or with my wife.
Yeah.
To make it the way it needs to be before God.
And I think you, as you have to help your spouse understand your family. You know what I mean? You can't expect them to come in. There's a whole different culture, a whole different way of living, a whole different way of being brought up in the world, and different priorities. So you're the link. A lot of times people don't do that. They don't try to explain their family to their spouse to help them understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you could easily misunderstand what's going on in that family and misjudge it just because you don't get it.
You don't understand it.
And so, but it's on the spouse to be able to try to explain and understand.
And don't think, well, I don't care about them. I married him or I married her. I don't care about them. No, care about them, because
should
why?
care.
Then wee ones come. Then you have children.
Yeah.
And it's their family. It's their grandma and grandpa. It's their aunts and uncles. It's their extended family. And there's lots of research on this, by the way. And I've read a lot about it. And it talks about the more that children are affirmed in their families, in their identity, in their culture, the stronger they are as people.
Yeah.
So don't cut that
True.
all away from them, you
True.
know?
Yeah, and I also think a lot of married couples think they totally know their parents, and they've got them kind of in this box of, oh, we know who our family are, but they're not giving the same kind of consideration that they give to themselves. They would say about themselves, well, we're changing. Well, what about them? They may be
Right.
changing too.
It's
They
true.
may be developing. Their thinking may be different today than what it was 10 years ago. I'm not saying all in every case, because sometimes a lot of people get completely stuck.
But I remember my dad saying this, something you said too on Sunday.
Yeah.
My dad used to say that years and years. I used to listen to him. You know, my mother sometimes would make a comment about a couple that she, oh, it's a funny wee couple that. They're a wee funny couple, aren't they? That's how she would say it in her wee Irish accent. My dad would always say, Alma, you leave them alone. Every married couple has their own
Yeah.
way of being married, and everybody's different. That's the way it
It's
is.
so true. You don't want to be like us.
No.
You don't want to be like your
You don't
parents.
want to be like your parents' marriage
You
because
don't
you're
want
not
to be
your
like
parents.
your friends either. You know,
Right.
someone said, "Oh, look at their marriage; it's great." You don't want to be like anyone else
Find out
except
who you are in God.
yourself. Have your
yourselves.
own unique relationship, your own unique way of being together and communicating. As long as it's not abusive and
Oh well, that's another whole
yeah, we've not
issue.
really talked about that kind of thing. We're not going to do that now, but maybe next week
Abuse
we can
is
talk.
another whole thing.
You know, what's abusive? When is it abusive? When is someone crossing the line? When is it time to get out? Because you know, some people want to be married, but they can't stay married just because of what's going on and how they're being treated.
That is another
very
whole
sad.
topic.
All right. Anyway, it's good to be with you.
Yes.
Hey, we don't have our tea tonight.
We don't have it because we're now doing these recordings in the church.
So we
with
may
a
not
better
have tea.
sound system.
We may
and
not-
we don't have our wee cups.
We
and
may not have
things.
tea anymore,
I
but
don't know. We might
yeah,
not.
we'll see. If you're missing the cups, you can drop us a line. We might.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
God bless everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.